Opening comments.
It's great to see everyone. Seems this is my 7th one. Like the time is flying. They say as you get older, they always told you the time went faster. It definitely does that. If I can just keep rolling right on, it seems like our season just ended. But, saying all that, that's the last 7 years and what we've been able to establish at Florida State, getting us back to elite status in college football, and winning the national championship and the conference title we won, but more importantly, making us relevant in the conversation again. And very happy about what we've been able to do, the culture we've been able to create, the game, of course, we've been able to, but more importantly, the players we've been able to coach and develop in all the aspects of their life, and just very excited about that. But more so than what we've done in the past, what we got going on in the future. Very excited about this team coming up. As you see, the 2 guys we have here, DeMarcus Walker and Dalvin Cook, 2 of the great players in college football, but the future of our program, the legacy, the guys in the past that left, the legacy these guys are leaving, the next group, and how we can keep things going. Very excited about where we're going in the future, and that's what it's all about. That's what we expect at Florida State. That's how we play, and that's why these guys come here. But it's always great to be up here with you, trying to keep Florida State relevant, and we're definitely going to do that. But I'm going to end with that and let the guys get up and do their questions and answer them. We'll do ours. But thank you. Glad to be here.
So Dalvin, you're up first. Dalvin, we've got 3 microphones that are floating around the building. So first question for Dalvin is a reminder for the 14th and final time, if you would. Please stand up, identify yourself and the agency you're with, and we'll start right here. To our right, Dalvin, first row.
Dalvin, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Adversity off the field, on the field, just how you've grown as a person and as a player. Obviously, there's high expectations for you on the field. How have you grown through the adversity of where you're at right now in your career?
I think Florida State prepare you for everything that you're going to face in college. And the coaching staff we got and the head coach that we have, and, he do a good job in preparing us as a man to face adversity. And some of the injuries and some of the things that I faced through college, I commend Coach Fisher for putting me in a position to be where I'm at and to help me fight through some of the stuff that I face.
Next question for Dalvin from the floor. We have one up here to our left, Dalvin, I believe, front row.
Andrew Reacher with Sky Motor, Orlando, Florida. Dalvin, how much does the loss to Oregon in the Rose Bowl game and the loss to Houston in the Peach Bowl, how much does that simmer in your mind, and how much do that, if at all, you use that as motivation as you go into this season?
Every loss that we take, and it is motivation, and it's just a teaching tool that we just need to keep working, and we be inches away from winning the game, a player or 2 away from winning the game, and like Coach said, you never know what player did take the game, so we can't take no plays off, and that just proved that we just gotta take every play in practice serious, and I see the guys over this summer and this spring just taking everything serious and not taking it lightly, so it's a good mindset.
Keep your attention dialed right there, down in the second row.
Hey, Dan, Chris O'Dell, FM Radio in Baltimore. Talk about your hamstring, everything okay, ready to go for the season? Because I know last year you pulled your hamstring against Miami, and the rest of the year you were in and out of the lineup. How are you going to keep that from not happening again this year?
I just got to take care of my body, and last year it taught me a lesson, stick in the training room, work on the little muscles you got, and I got a good relationship with my trainers, and a good relationship with my strength coaches, and they do a good job of monitoring me and taking care of my body. So that's the thing I take pride in, and taking care of my body. So I got a good relationship with the people at school, and they do a good job of taking care of me.
Dalvin, swing to your right, second row, green shirt.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com, Dalvin. According to the media guide, you have all 11 starters back on offense. That's really, really rare. How much farther ahead, how much more explosive is this offense going to be because of this continuity?
The maturity level, I can say that we just got to be more consistent. And I think we lacked that last year. And we just got to be more consistent, like I said. And we're working towards that. And I see guys stepping up and taking roles. We did return to all 11 on offense. And it could be a plus and it could be a minus. So, but we're working towards it to be a plus. And I see guys take a stride forward, and we have a good offseason.
We're going to go to our left, Dalvin. It'll be about the 5th or 6th row, just now standing up.
Hey, Dalvin. Matt Baker with the Tampa Bay Times. What's the next step in your evolution as a player?
Just to keep working on my game and being a good team player. And I know those guys look up to me as a leader, and there's a lot of stuff I got to work on in my game, and a lot of stuff I got to work on and lead these guys the right way. And that's just what I got to work on. I got to just keep pushing these guys to be the guys I know they could be, and be the team that I know we could be. So I'm just working on being that team guy and pushing these guys the right way.
Any other questions for Dalvin? Dalvin, thank you. We'll switch places.
No problem.
DeMarcus, you're up. DeMarcus Walker, the next few minutes with us. First question for him from the general floor, please. Hearing none, DeMarcus, I'll ask you the first question right here to your right. Describe Dalvin as a leader. He was obviously standing at the podium using his indoor voice. Does he have an outdoor voice out in the field?
Most definitely. Dalvin talks when he wants to. Him and I do a great job both leading his team. And the thing about us, we're great listeners. So anything Coach Fisher emphasizes or talk about, we make sure we emphasize that to the team. And we always just continue being who we are.
Question here, front row to our right.
DeMarcus, the decision to come back to Florida State and be a part of 2016 and moving forward, what did that for you? What made this the right time, and what made it something that was obviously vital for you as opposed to another option?
The biggest thing you come to college is for an education, and a degree was the best thing. And just sitting down with Coach Fisher and talking with my family was the best decision for me to come back. And I was coming back to a great team. We very talented, but we're disciplined. We're back, we're better than ever.
Other questions for DeMarcus? DeMarcus, obviously championships are what help prove what a program's worth is, but outside of championships, how do you know every week at different parts during the season that you're accomplishing what you need to accomplish?
You got to be able to self-analyze, and then the coaches stay on us. But the biggest thing for us this year, you just got to take it one game at a time. The small details, and playing great championship football is what it takes to win every week.
So, what are the small details you're working on during the offseason?
Just small things, just eating right, sleeping right. Not staying up so late. Going to the training room, cold tub, hot tub, all that small stuff, plays a big part. Something that Coach Fisher emphasizes every week. Going into game day, treat it like a test. When people study for a test, they're ready to take it. But when people didn't study for it, they don't want to take it. So every week, got to go in with that mindset. I'm gonna prepare and roll so I can be ready for this game.
Back to our right, second row, DeMarcus.
DeMarcus, we're in a real offensive explosion right now. As a defensive player, what's it like to go against the Clemson offense? You're going to see North Carolina this year. Syracuse is running an up-tempo offense. What are the challenges that defensive players face today with all this talent and all this emphasis on speed and tempo?
The biggest thing you got to be in shape for. The tempo offense is pretty hard. With our strength and conditioning, and our practices are so hard that when it comes game day, it's really slower than the actual game is. So we just gotta continue to practice hard like we always do. Just get the signals in faster, and then just line up and play football.
Other questions for DeMarcus? DeMarcus, thank you. We'll excuse our student athletes to their final breakout of the day. We'll invite Coach Fisher back to the podium, and we'll go through about 12 minutes of Q&A with him. Coach, we see a hand up already. McKenzie back towards the exit sign, and then we'll work the room back around. So to our left, Coach.
Hey Jimbo, Stephen Bailey with the Post Standard and Syracuse.com. What do you think of Dino Babers' fit at Syracuse and the hurry-up spread offense he's bringing to the ACC?
Well, I mean, anytime that hurry up and those guys, they all have their own little tweak or turn to them. But the key to all those things is you have to be in great condition first, like DeMarcus said. You have to do great formation recognition, keep great eye discipline. But everybody has a different twist to it. It's not just one standard offense. Dino's had great success with it wherever he's been. He's a heck of a football coach, and they've got very good players. They've got fast players, they've got athletic players, quarterbacks can run and throw. And it's going to be a huge challenge. We're going to have to get that recognition again and let our eyes get in the right position so we can let our talent play.
Coach, to your right, front row here.
Yes, sir.
Coach, to take a look at, where you're going here with the future and what you've been able to build on already, just what you can say about the quarterback situation and how, a couple of years ago you were in a different place, but what you see out of the talented guys, the 4 guys that you have right now that are working through the fall.
I'm very happy with Sean. I mean, as we know, he came in and played great. The Syracuse game, once he came in, had a great Clemson game. It was a tough game. We lost it. He played, did his part of it. Played in Florida and won. Played on a broken bone under his foot, basically an ankle, won the whole thing in the bowl. Our guys have tremendous respect for him. Can make all the throws. The leader means a lot. A very tough guy. Then you have our younger guys, Francois, who was very talented, makes all the throws, had a great spring, great after the spring game, the development he made. Progress he seems to be making during the summer from everything we're hearing. Very excited to see him and how he takes it from the spring into the fall camp, and what he's doing there. J.J. Constantino, we've seen play, had a good spring. And then Malik Henry, who came in one semester, and he really flashed and did some great things for the limited amount of knowledge he had going into the game. But this guy can play too, so we're in great shape. The future position looks really good. We'll actually see how those first few guys just battle in fall camp, see where we're at.
Coach, to your left, second row.
Yes.
Hey, Jimbo, Chris Idell. How you doing?
Good. How you been?
I'm doing great. Talk about the 3rd and 4th down for defense. Seems like last year the defense was on the field. Too many 3rd downs, too many 4th downs, too many extra plays. What do you guys have to do this year to stop any extra plays?
Well, I think win first down. I think the first thing you want to do to be good on 3rd down is win first down, because you can put them in the 3rd and long situation instead of 3rd and short, 3rd and medium. You can usually come out on top. But on offense, part of that too is we got to convert. Last year, one of the first years we didn't convert at a high rate as we normally do on offense. And the more plays you keep there, you keep your defense off the field. So I think that's always a huge emphasis for us. You hear me say it all the time. Red zone, 3rd down, turnovers are all big critical parts of the game that are very important. We practice those a lot, and we're going to have to do a great job. And if you really want to win 3rd down, you got to do a great job on 1st down on defense, on making it 2nd long to get them in those situations, and then on offense, if you're successful on 1st down, it's hard not to get a 1st down. So I'm converting on that end of it. So it's something we have to work on. But I think hopefully the experience of what we have and where we're going, we'll be able to do that.
Coach, we're going to go to the camera stand. Very back, bright shirt, might be yellow, not quite sure.
It's yellow. Mitch Brown, WTKR. Coach, I just wanted to ask you about, this is the 2nd year in a row that you've got the top player out of Virginia. Also, the 2nd year in a row you've got the top player out of Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area. So can you just talk about what you like out of that area and, also about Josh's improvements going into the season?
First of all, that area to me is one of the top areas in this country. If you research it over time, the number of players and athletes that come out of that Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that whole Hampton area, that whole area. When you're not just talking about football players. I mean, Lawrence Taylor and Dwight Stevenson, all the way back. I mean, some of the greatest ones ever. You go into basketball, Alonzo Mourning and all the guys, Allen Iverson, and then baseball, the Upton brothers. I mean, it's every sport. That area has always been a highly productive area, and we've had some success. And I think our recent success probably started with DJ Manning. DJ came down, was a highly ranked guy, had a tremendous career, was a 1st-round pick for us, one of the great quarterbacks in Florida State history. And I think a lot of people had a lot of respect for him, and we were winning, and that's a natural avenue for us if we go back that way to play. That's in the ACC territory. We're having a lot of success, and the guys we've got now there have been Derek Nottie with us right now. Levante Taylor's at school, a great guy, and then Josh is, I think, a very special guy. We weren't even thinking we were going to have him to play last year, and he came in and almost started every game, played all the snaps. Right now, probably about 250 pounds and really running and strong, and I think can be one of the elite players out there. I really do look for him to have a big year, and that area's always been productive, and it's in our realm of where we go play and recruit, and we're always going to try and be there. And I tell you what, great coaching in that area, great player development, great competition. I think it's the history of the United States. Like I say, if you really look at it for athletes, that's been one of the top areas and can match up with anybody.
Coach, to your right, second row.
Coach, Jerry DePaul, Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Okay.
There aren't many schools in the country that reach the status that you guys have reached, top 5, top 10 every year. When a school aspires to that level of achievement, what do they have to do to get there?
I think consistency, and I think it's not, everybody says, well, it's just about players. No, it's not. Players that's a key ingredient. But we have to build the culture of the university to have consistency. And these player development is a person, and how these guys develop with community service, relationships, understanding their role, who they are, role models to young kids, all those type of things. The academic development, making sure they have success in school as far as giving academic support, making these guys understand the importance of an education, all the things that go on. Because we so focus on the athletic part of it. If those kids aren't having success as people and as students, you don't play well as a player. That's just a fact. And people don't believe that all the time. I've been in coaching 27 years. The guys that develop as people, develop as students, have success in other areas in which they never really thought were important or actually thought they could never have great success in. That's not everyone. It's amazing when they do those areas how they develop and evolve. But I think it's a coach's responsibility, a school's responsibility to keep developing the culture, staying on the cutting edge of all the peripheral programs that help these kids with behavior issues, development issues, mental issues, I mean, all the things that go on out there to give them all the tools at hand to be successful. Because I'm going to tell you what, being an athlete today in the college game, I think is harder than it's ever been in the world. Because of the issues they face, the situations, the way things are done, the social media world, the ability to have campaign. Everyone knows what these kids do all the time. And the pressure for these guys to play so early in their careers, I think it's critical. And I think you have to provide all that leadership and guidance at an early age from the second they get there for them to get on the field. Because a lot of these guys are leaving when they're junior. Used to be you never played your redshirt junior. Now you're leaving when you're a junior. You know, somebody asked me the scenario, and I gave this, there's Charlie Ward, Jameis Winston, who's the greatest quarterback? You know, I said, well, here's a perspective. There is no answer to this. They're all great. But here was a perspective I put into them when they never thought about it. This is just from 1993 to 2013. When Jameis left in his career, that was the time Charlie Ward was just getting on the field. What do you think about that, man? When Jameis left and what he accomplished, that was the time that Charlie was just starting on his career, and that's when it went on what he accomplished. Well, what's significant about that is maturity issues, guidance issues. Guys are being asked to do things at such an earlier age than they've ever done. And we want the expectations, we want the pressure, we want all that. So I think for schools to provide outlets to help these kids grow as people is the key ingredient to having consistency in your program. It's your support system and the commitment of that university to do those things. And I think that's been a huge part of what we've been able to do. The programs we've had been able to put in place.
Coach, to your left, first row.
Yes, sir.
This season you open up against Ole Miss. Next season you open up against Alabama. Both neutral site games. How beneficial is it for the motivation of your football team? Do you think those games are?
Well, I think they get your attention very quickly. Just like a couple years ago, we opened up with Oklahoma State, coming out of the gate. Opened up a couple years ago with Pitt, up in Pittsburgh. I mean, anytime you have a significant opponent, you feel is a big-time opponent like that, your off-season gets ramped up. It's just a natural instinct. Coaches don't have to say a word. The kids know. They know everything that goes on. They know the importance of the games. They know the competition. That's why these guys come here. I mean, they know how to compete. But it makes your off-season, in my opinion, so enhanced. You know what I mean? And it jump starts it so much quicker. And it's shown. I've been extremely pleased with our attitude and our work ethic through the summer. Our weight coach has been saying it's one of the best ones we've had in the last 4 or 5 years. And so I think it is, and you better, because you're not. You get bit right off the bat. So it's going to be a great challenge.
Coach, very back in the room, Cameron, Stan, redshirt.
Zach Lover, WDJ7. You guys, obviously, Clemson as well, have been towards the top of the league for the last few years. Do you feel like the rest of the league is catching up? Is the gap closing at all?
Oh, I think it definitely has. I mean, us and Clemson have had great success. We've been in the game. We've been there 6 years. We played the championship game 4 out of 6 years. They played the other 2. We won a national championship. They played for one. I mean, we're playing at a very high level, 2 of the elite programs. But we've had some success against Miami, but all those games have been nail biters, right down to 1-possession games. Right to the end. Georgia Tech, upsets us last year. Plays very good. Pitt, NC State, who always has been. North Carolina is an onside kick away from, having a chance to beat Clemson last year going into that. I mean, there's so many things. Virginia Tech, when Frank was there, now we're established again, one of the elite teams in college football for a long time there. I mean, this is a great league. And I've coaching the other leagues. I know what they are. This is great football, great players. You name me a league. Name me a league that has 3 bigger stars than Dalvin Cook, Deshaun Watson, and Brad Kite. Name me a league that has 3 bigger stars than that right now when you talk about it. There's other guys in our league that are great players. We have other great players. Miami has other great players. Clemson has other great players. So does Georgia Tech, NC State, all across the board. Everybody has it. Big running back James Conner coming back up the pit, thank God. And those things are all going so well. And I knew, and having him back in the league. You're talking about the player of the year from 2 years ago. We have star-studded players, and this is a great league of football.
Coach, stay to your right, second row.
All right.
When you first came into the league, it was in a defensive phase. There was 1 year where there were, like 6 first-round draft choices, all defensive players. Now, clearly, it's in a real offensive phase. Tremendous numbers put up last year by everybody except against Boston College, which managed to slow people down. And 90% of the offensive stars are back, and you just said some names. How good are you? Talk about the offense. What's this like to be?
There's a lot of dynamic players out there. There really are. But, it goes in cycles, offense, defense, but you still have to play great defense to win. But there's a lot of dynamic players that I say, don't just get first down, they change the numbers on the scoreboard. I mean, they can finish plays. And our guys as dynamic as anybody. Deshaun with his leg, with his arm, Brad Kite throwing the football, moves around good. Connor, there's so many guys, so many speedy receivers. It is dynamic, and you got to have your A game on defense. Because the multiplicity of things, people say this all the time, it's much easier, as crazy as this sounds, to be a defense coordinator in pro football than it is in college football. Because first and second down in pro football is all about the same. Third down and creativity on the blitzes. And in college football, just in our league, you play us as a traditional pro offense. Then you go play a wishbone, play Georgia Tech. Then you play no huddle at Clemson. Then you play North Carolina's no huddle. Then you go play Syracuse's no huddle. Then you go play. The diversity of how these offenses are and the multiplicity of things these kids have to learn and play. It's a huge disadvantage on defense because there's so many different things. So in pro football, your offenses are basically the same. And then you put those dynamic players out there in space. It's tough. And our defensive staff's going to have their hands full. And one of your goals on offense is to make sure you score your points and keep the ball away from the other guy. Like I was saying a minute ago, third down situations, making sure you're converting it. Even if you get convert 2 third downs and don't score any points or kick a field goal, it's better giving it back to them there. So, it's tough on these coordinators.
Coach, to your left, second row.
Jimbo, talk about with Mark Richt coming down to South Florida. Talk about your battles with Mark Richt. What's he going to do to change Miami around?
Well, I don't know. You have to ask Mark what he's going to do to change Miami around. I don't know what he's going to do. But I know this. Mark's won 146 games in 15 years, almost 10 games a year, and a great conference. So Mark knows how to coach. He knows how to win. He was a great coordinator when he was at Florida State. Won a couple national titles while he was there. He's a great gentleman. He knows how to recruit. He lived in South Florida. He played in Miami, so he knows the area. And they've got good players now. They got a quarterback probably be a top 10 pick in the draft. They've got good skill guys. They've got players, and I think he'll do very well. And then Miami made a good hire.
Coach, your last question will come from the back of the room to the left.
Yes, sir.
Jason Staples, NoDigest.com. Now, Coach, you've had a lot of success with different types of quarterbacks over the years. Guys that bring a lot of different things to the table. What would you say are your non-negotiable fundamentals in terms of, and I'm asking sort of to get a little technical here, what would you consider the non-negotiable fundamentals, say above the waist and below? And then the second part of it, what do you look for when you're looking at high school quarterbacks and you're scouting them? What's your checklist? How do you actually process all this?
We've been fortunate to have some great ones. We really have. So many guys are great pros, great college guys, and so we had 3 first-round picks in a row and first pick of the draft. But in quarterbacking, at the end of the day, they all have different strengths and weaknesses. You call the game different, you call different plays, different throws. But at the end of the day, quarterbacking gets down to 2 things. You can draw. Does the guy have a great arm? Is he tough? Does he have leadership? Does he have footwork? Does he have balance? Does he make good decisions? Or he's throwing the football? Or is he checking off and handing it off to the right? His decision-making ability and his accuracy when he throws it. Everybody talks, he got this, he got a soft arm, he got a great arm, he can make this throw, he can make that throw. All right? Does he hit what the heck he's throwing at? At the end of the day, we got all these intangibles. Now, footwork's a toughness, leadership, we got all those intangibles. If he can't make good decisions, he can't hit what he's throwing at, he can have all them other things he wants. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, sometimes we complicate it so much at the end of the day, and find ways in which they can do that. Find ways in which what they can do and what they do that. And again, when you're looking at a quarterback, there's a certain level of arm talent you got to have. Number one and first and foremost, it's got to be a certain level of arm talent he's got to have to be able to play at the next level. And that's in our level I'm talking about. And then we get back to the other things. And then does he move his team? The other thing is, you watch him on film, is he moving the ball? Because at the end of the day, what's the quarterback got to do? He's got to move the ball down the field. How you do it, whether you dink it, dunk it, do it the Joe Montana way, do it the John Elway way, do it the Tom Brady way, do it the Peyton Manning way, I don't know, do it the Brett Favre way. Does the ball move down the field? And do the guys around him respond to it? I mean, we complicate it so much, but there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, and that was a key thing. But when you're watching the arm talent, then you get into the decision making, the tough, the accuracy, and then you get into all the other intangibles. But, and I'm gonna say this, it's hard to ever judge one. I don't care what you say. As a coach, people ask me, what do you think? I don't know, I ain't never coached him. Until you coach a guy, you don't know a guy. Because don't pretend like you know what he's looking at or what he should be doing. And he could be being told right, done wrong, or it could be backwards. It's hard to judge those guys till you ever coach them. All right.
On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Look forward to seeing you this fall.